Hey, Elk Grove Church, I hope that you're all doing well. We know that the longer this pandemic goes and we're shut into our homes, the more challenging it's going to be for us. We had a Zoom prayer meeting Sunday night, and it gave some of us a little bit more of a taste of how this is beginning to ripple into our own body. And we talked to some people who are being laid off or let go from their jobs, and it's going to create some financial challenges for some families, and we really want to be there to help people. And so we really want you to know that we're in prayer for those of you that are going through such changes, although we're not really aware of who all this affects. So if you're going through some challenges, we want you to know that we want to do everything we can to be there for you and to help out in any way we can, whether it's prayer or even if it's financial. And so what I want to talk to you about this time is just trying to get perspective on how the body of Christ can really help each other. And as I was thinking about this, there's a passage in 2 Corinthians 8 that I just want to read a few verses to build a context for this and then suggest something to us in practical ways. If you remember in 2 Corinthians 8, Paul is talking to them about a year-long project of raising money, not for a building project, but to respond to the needs of other believers. And obviously I won't read all of it, but let me just remind you of a few things. He talks about this affliction that the Macedonian churches were going through, probably because of the famine that was touching the whole world. But he says that in their affliction, they had this abundance of joy, and out of their poverty, overwhelmed with a wealth of liberality or freedom. And he testifies, according to their ability and beyond their ability, they gave of their own accord, begging us with much entreaty to the favor participating in the support of the saints. It's really a remarkable sense of God's grace. And what I want to encourage you is that while we know that some of you are affected financially by this pandemic and losing your jobs or being let go or hours cut back, there are some out there that this isn't affecting them financially. People are keeping their jobs. It's changing the makeup of how they work. But they're still doing pretty well. And I want to speak to you for a minute, just in the sense of responding to one another. It's easy for us in these situations to go to organizations in our communities to get food delivered and other kinds of things. But this is also a great opportunity for us to care for one another. And as I think about this, I want you to think not about your regular giving. If you can keep doing that, we want you to do it. But there's an opportunity for us to really respond to the needs of people going through some difficult challenges. And we have a compassion fund that's set up on the website. And for those of you that this does not affect you financially, that you might consider giving to our compassion fund. Because we expect in the days ahead, there's going to be some real needs for people. And as you would be generous, even in these times, God's grace can really be abundant in touching the lives of people who are going through more difficult challenges. And so we want you to know we're praying. We can't help if we don't know what your need is, and so we want you to ask for help. We can only do what we're able, but we can't do anything if you don't let us know. And there's a certain sense of grace that God has to work in each of our lives to just ask for help. But I want to plead with you that it gives us an opportunity to really extend God's grace to one another. And so that's my encouragement this week. And so God's grace has to work in all of our lives, both in those to ask for help and for those who want to give it. And so we're praying for you. We hope you're doing well, but please communicate with us, and we're going to do everything we can to let God's grace touch our lives. Thanks. God bless. Have a great week.